is crazy to think that I got trespassed from pretty much a junkyard or a recycling place. That's the better term for it. It's actually a recycling place about 45 minutes away from me, just because I took this box that somebody just got rid of. So let me tell you the story. So I get my used parts. A lot of it's from the Facebook Marketplace, wheeling and dealing. And one of the other things that I do is yard sales, garbage that people throw on the side of the road or anything. If it's something that might have some value, whether it's memory, maybe some cables, fans, just anything, I'll take it, I'll scrap what I can get out of it, and then just toss the rest. But there is a used recycling place that they recycle electronics, metal, small engine parts, all that type of stuff, just, you know, all that type of recycling stuff. And I've gone there for years, 10 plus years. It's about an hour away from me, maybe 45 minutes. And I always go there, get rid of some stuff, but I also look and see if there's anything else worth getting. And like I said, I've gotten some good stuff off of that. Well, I go, this guy walks up and he puts this box down. Now, I haven't gone into this box because this whole situation frustrated me, but cleaning out my truck the other day, I was like, oh yeah, this isn't the bed of the truck. But moving on, the guy puts the stuff down and I say, hey, what you got in there? And he was like, just junk, just old computer junk and stuff like that. And sometimes old computer junk has value, folks. Voodoos, certain motherboards, certain older hardware, you can resell it on eBay and just actually make some good money on it, or get good parts that you might be able to use for your next project. So he puts the box down, he leaves, I take the box, load up in my truck, leave, done, nothing to it. I kind of forgot about it now that I think about it. So the next day I go back over there, since I was in that area, trying to see if there was anything else that was good, that was worth taking. And I guess he was the employee on duty. I don't think he was a manager. And I'll talk more about that in a sec. But the guy comes up to me and he says, hey, that box you took the other day, you stole it, you need to bring it back. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I didn't steal it. I've been doing this for years. And while he's talking to me, telling me how that I can't take things from the recycling place, there's a guy going through the computer electronic area, and there's another guy going through the small engine area, and there's another guy kind of picking through other stuff over there. And I point that out to the guy. He says, nope, it doesn't matter. That stuff needed to be left and you should not have taken it. And I was like, okay, whatever. There's no signs. There's nothing on your website. And I explained that to the guy. He goes, it doesn't matter. That's our company policy. I said, okay. I said, can I speak to the manager? The manager's not here. So obviously he's not the manager. So I get in my vehicle, I leave. He starts walking towards me, gets to my vehicle, starts fussing and cussing and all that type of stuff. I guess he was having a bad day. It happens. I drive off. I'm thinking that's the end. No, I get a phone call. It's local law enforcement. It's the sheriff's department from that area. The reasons, obviously. And I get a phone call and they say, hey, were you at this location, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And I cooperate with law enforcement because I did nothing wrong. And I said, yes. He goes, the guy is claiming that you took property without authorization, a box of computer stuff, or that was in the electronics area. And I said, I did not steal it. I said it was discarded there. There are no signs. There's nothing on their website. And the officer was cool. He goes, I did speak to a manager up at corporate, and they did confirm that there's no signs and there's nothing that says you can or cannot take it. So I did confirm that. He goes, but the guy does want you trespassed from there. So I asked, is he the manager? They said, I don't know, but he wants you trespassed. I'm just gonna give you a trespass warning because he does represent the establishment. He does represent the business and all that type of stuff. I said, okay, that's cool. And the cop was cool. That was fine. But I wasn't fine with it. So I get on the website, I call their corporate or their bosses or whatever number that they have on there, reach out, get forwarded to one person, another person, leave a message. And actually an hour later, I get a phone call, real nice female. And I talked to her and explained to her the situation and that I was trespassed from there. And what did she tell me? She goes, we have no policy that states you can't do that. She goes, but we are getting ready to implement a policy in a couple of weeks and put signs that we don't want people doing that, primarily because it slows down the flow of business. It slows down the flow of things. It creates blockages and we kind of get all packed up with cars and people just in the yard. There's safety issues and all that type of stuff. And I said, that's cool. I says, but as far as my trespass, am I still trespassed from there? And she says, no, you're not trespassed. She said she actually heard about it from corporate and all that type of stuff. She goes, no, you're fine. You can continue to come there and drop off your recycled stuff. She goes, but don't go through the yard. We are going to have signs and all that type of stuff. And I'm like, I'm cool with it. So that's a crazy story that this dude, I guess he thought he owned the place or whatever, decides that, I don't know, that I can't do it. My personal opinion, I think that he wants to go through the stuff first, take the good stuff from himself, and then anybody else could take the scraps. I don't know, maybe the policy came out and he read it wrong and he thought it was effective immediately. Whole bunch of theories on that. But either way, I just went to the back of my truck and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this box. So it's been sitting there for maybe a week, a couple of days, can't remember. And I haven't opened it up, not sure what's in it. So in this video, let's go ahead and find out if my trespass situation was worth the headache for the contents that was inside here. So let's go ahead and let's dive in. Let's open this up and let's see. Oh boy. I mean, maybe in the bottom there's something good. All right. Yeah, I'm not impressed with what I see, but I mean, that's the gamble you take. You know, people say, oh man, you get lucky and you find all this good stuff. Folks, there are days like this where sometimes you don't. Maybe there's something decent on the bottom of it, but either way, I might be going back to electronics recycling and getting rid of this stuff again. But who knows? There might be something good in there. Let's get some light. A whole bunch of cables, printer cables, a splitter. Okay, cables are really not what's going to make this worth it. All right, mini HDMI cable. I actually need one of these. That I actually might put over here because I have some of those monitors that use the mini HDMI. Molex to 6-pin. There's something gross on this. It doesn't stink. 20-piece precision screwdriver set. No screwdriver. We do got a bunch of bits. I mean, I guess extra bits could be good. Oh boy. This one is HP. This is for a laptop. I actually have a box full of these. They do come in handy because I do get a bunch of laptops in there, but so far I'm not really seeing anything that's getting worth it in here. Cobalts. Where are the tools? It's like everything's missing. That looks like that's gonna be junk. Memory? Nope, empty. Speakers. I mean, these are USB. Very light. Logitech S-150. I might hold on to these. Definitely no value there, but you know. What do we got? 5-port gigabit Ethernet switch. SATA cables, I guess that's all right. Brand new Cat 5e, sure. Type C cable, that's good to keep. We got some stuff that's like, okay. So I think this was this guy's junk cable collection because I'm looking in here and I'm not seeing anything. AMD CPU cooler, I got like 1,000 of them. Cheap fan. Another cheap fan. NZXT. All right. Don't know this brand. Proprietary. Ooh, is there a power supply in here? Okay. This might be good. 850 watts Cooler Master. MWE Gold 850 V2 fully modular. This might be good. I think. Does it smell? No? It's unplugged from here. Does it have PCIe? There's one. I think there's two. CPU. Yeah. All right, that might be worth it. I mean, what, 40, 50 bucks for a power supply? More cables. I'm like not really gonna go through a ton of these cables. I mean, unless it's something obvious that's worthwhile. Wi-Fi antenna. Yep, that's good to keep. A lot of times when I get these used motherboards, they don't have that, so that's nice. Thermal paste. ZP heatsink compound. I'll keep that. You know, cheap builds. Ooh. All right. We got a Gigabyte P550B 80 plus bronze. Doesn't smell burnt or anything like that. So 2 power supplies, if they work, that's awesome. I was actually at a point one time where I had a shortage of power supply. Now I definitely have enough. And more of these fans, which I'm not going to keep them. NZXT one. Probably keep the NZXT ones. That's kind of cool. Check out this little mouse. I haven't seen one like this in years. Retractable. Okay, that was kind of cool. If it works. Let's see, we got more thermal paste, Thermalright TF7. We do have some memory. All right, let's take a look at it. This is, if it's DDR4 laptop memory, I think we're good. This one is 8 gig DDR3, 2 gigs DDR3. I have so much of these. Ooh, 8 gig DDR4 Samsung. The speed. Let's see if we could get this one sticker off. They got a sticker on top of a sticker. It's like, why? 3200. All right, that's nice. 3. Ooh, 8 gig DDR4. DDR3. 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 Yep, 2 gigs. DDR3. So I'll probably keep these crucials. 8 gig ones. And you're probably saying, ooh, DDR3, it's junk, it's old, not worth anything. Folks, that stuff still pops up in the garage. Now these 2 gig sticks I can do without. We can go ahead and recycle this stuff at a different location. Ooh, we got a CPU. What CPU do we have? Come on, let's get a good CPU here. We have an i7 3770. I mean, that's okay. This bag is like really dirty and there's junk in here. Ew. So we're gonna put that in this one. Toss this bag. Put this over here. Pry tools, which that's good to have. Power cable, definitely good to have. Power cables, yep. All right, this one is for an HP. Definitely gonna keep that. Is there anything else in here that I should bring out to show? No, we're not gonna keep that. That's junk. So as you can see, this is what's left, which is mostly really not worth keeping. I mean, there are some bits, but I mean, I have tons and tons. Oh, these are the security ones. So, okay, we will keep this. Anything else? Bag of screws, yeah. Oh man, this is like everything for a case, so we'll keep these screws. Now, can I toss on this? Ooh, zip ties, yep. Now I got to decide at what point am I just hoarding or am I actually saving practical stuff. Yep, that's everything. So let's go ahead, let's pop all the stuff I'm not going to keep into this box. That way we'll get rid of this in the recycling, and we'll go over the stuff I got and see if it's good. So this is the stuff that I'll probably send back to recycling. I probably got to separate it, and like, yeah, that just goes straight up in the trash, that part right there. But I mean, this stuff is actually not too bad. We got 2 power supplies. I tested them off camera with the power supply tester. Now keep in mind, if you're using a cheap one like I use, take that data with a grain of salt, because sometimes they'll test fine on the power supply tester, but when you pop it into a rig under load, they might crash or cause an issue. So if you're fully going to test it, I recommend having a rig that you're not too fond of, just in case. But these seem to be pretty decent, and I don't see anything that might suggest that there's something wrong with them. So I'll feel good with them, and I'll mess with them later. Thermal paste. Thermal paste is huge because that adds up. You're trying to flip a rig, you know, you need thermal paste and you run out, and then you got to go out and spend $10. You know, it's the little stuff that adds up when you're trying to make a couple of dollars. Extra memory, an i7 3rd gen CPU, which I don't know what I'll do with, but we'll figure it out. Laptop chargers are awesome to have, and the reason why is because I see a lot on the Facebook marketplace, people just throwing away laptops. Obviously cannibalizing them is the best bet for them, but if you could clean it up, get it working, and most times they don't have a charger, throw in the charger and put a nice decent laptop together, you can actually make some money on that. And laptop chargers are about $20, $30 if you want to go with the original one. I don't recommend the aftermarket ones. Too many bad experiences. So original, that's cool. And as far as all this other stuff, I mean, not too bad. Not the worst, but good enough. So do I recommend doing this? No, not really. Sometimes it's more headache than it's worth. Actually, in my years and years of doing this, just going up to recycling places and just picking up other people's electronics junk, this is the first time I ran into an issue with trespassing and the police getting called. I think a lot of it was just a lot of miscommunication by that guy. Just, you know, he heard a policy and he jumped the gun on it and just didn't really, you know, do his due diligence on that. But I mean, stay calm, folks. I mean, I've seen people just go crazy over things that are not worth it. So just kind of keep that in mind. And the other thing too is sometimes it's just not worth it and you just get a box of junk. I've had that happen where I picked up a computer and it was a complete pile of junk because, you know, there was water damage and other type of damage and all that type of stuff. I mean, when you go to these places or when you're picking up people's junk, electronic junk like that, you really don't have a lot of time to just sit there and access it. It's kind of weird when you're sitting there just like, oh yeah, I see a little damage here, oh, this, that. No, you pretty much got to take it, scoop it, bring it back, and, you know, is it worth it? And if not, then you got to bring it back just to get rid of it. So sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not worth it. Fortunately, in this case, it was worth it for the sense that, I mean, the power supplies alone, that's definitely worth it, and a whole bunch of other stuff that I can actually use. But yeah, this is one of the ways that I don't do it a lot anymore. But when I first started, this is how I was able to get parts and start building computers together. So, I mean, if you have a cool recycling place, which not all places have it, definitely check with them, see if they're cool with you picking some of the stuff up. Some places do charge you for it. So with all that being said, comment down below, let me know your thoughts, concerns, criticisms. What are your thoughts and opinions on recycling places? Have you ever heard of stuff like that? That was new to me, at least for that area. Some areas, they do have clear restrictions. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. Do you think this stuff was worth it? And what other ways do you find to get good deals on used PC parts? If you like this video, definitely hit the like button, subscribe if you're not, and as always, see what we come up with next.